Last time we found the hidden companies that print the world's money. Tonight, one of them. Picture this, a single private company, printing the banknotes of two nations that have fought wars against each other. Two nuclear-armed enemies, their money made under the same roof. It sounds impossible. It happened, and it ended in falsified documents, a bribery investigation, a national security scandal, and the near death of a company that once printed a third of all the money on Earth. This is the story of how the world's most trusted printer lost that trust. Right, its name is De La Rue. If you've never heard of it, that's the point. For 2 centuries, it worked in the background of the global economy. Founded by a printer named Thomas De La Rue in the early 1800s, it began of all things printing playing cards and stationery. Then postage stamps. Then eventually the most sensitive product a country owns, its money. At its height, this one British firm designed and printed close to a third of all the banknote types in circulation on the planet. It supplied secure paper, inks, and security features to around 140 countries. It printed passports for dozens more. It is still today the sole printer of the British pound. Think about the level of trust that requires. A government hands over the master keys to its own currency. The designs, the secret security features, the very thing its economy runs on, to a private company in another country. And for a long time, that trust held, until it didn't. Okay, the first crack appeared in 2010, and it came from inside. De La Rue supplied specialist security paper to India, one of its biggest customers. India's central bank ran quality tests on that paper, and it failed. Worse, some of the test certificates, the documents certifying the paper was up to standard, had been falsified. This wasn't an outside accusation. De La Rue's own employees admitted altering the documents. The company disclosed it publicly. Now, understand why that matters. Currency paper isn't ordinary paper. The precise recipe, the fibers, the chemistry, it's part of what makes a banknote hard to fake. Substandard, uncertified paper doesn't just fail a test. It potentially weakens the defense against counterfeiters for an entire nation's money supply. For a company whose entire value is trust, admitting your own staff faked the paperwork on a country's currency is close to the worst thing you can say. And it was only the beginning. Right, then came the money trail. In 2016, De La Rue's name surfaced in the Panama Papers, the vast leak of offshore financial documents. The evidence indicated the company had authorized a 15% commission, paid through a subsidiary to an agent, connected to securing banknote contracts in India. A commission of that kind in that context is what most people would simply call a bribe. India acted. The company was effectively blacklisted, barred from major Indian contracts, a ban that, as of today, still stands. Years later, Indian investigators opened a corruption case against a former finance official over how one of those contracts had been extended. De La Rue said the allegations against it had no merit, and that it had not supplied India since 2016. But here is where the story becomes genuinely uncomfortable. And here I want to be careful and precise, because this is the part that gets exaggerated. De La Rue had, at various times, supplied currency materials to both India and Pakistan. 2 neighbors, 2 nuclear powers, longtime adversaries. Some Indian politicians and commentators went further and alleged that this shared supply chain is how Pakistan-linked counterfeiters were able to produce such convincing fake Indian rupees. That is an allegation, not a proven fact. No public evidence has ever demonstrated a direct leak from the company to counterfeiters. But you don't need the most extreme version to see the core problem. When one company holds the secrets of rival nations' money, the trust that makes the whole system work starts to look dangerously thin. Right. While the scandals played out, the ground was shifting under the whole company. In 2018, De La Rue lost the contract to print the British passport. Its own government handed a flagship national document to a foreign competitor. It was a symbolic blow, and a financial one. The firm issued profit warning after profit warning. It closed a UK factory. By 2023, shares had collapsed and analysts openly asked whether a company that had survived 2 centuries was about to go under, and then the ending almost no one saw coming. In 2025, De La Rue and the 200-year-old British institution, printer to the world, maker of the pound, was taken private by an American investment firm. It was delisted from the London Stock Exchange, where it had traded for decades. The company that printed money for 140 nations could no longer stand on its own. So, why does the fall of one printing company matter to you? Because De La Rue is the clearest window we have into the strange bargain at the heart of modern money. Dozens of nations, including ones that distrust each other and distrust the printer's home country too, handed their most sensitive secret to a single private firm. It mostly worked, until human failings, faked paperwork, quiet commissions, cut corners reminded everyone how fragile that trust really is. And the deepest irony, even as De La Rue clawed its way back to stability, it now faces an enemy no scandal could rival. An enemy that threatens not just one company, but the entire 200-year-old business of printing physical money. The world is trying to kill cash. Governments and central banks are racing to build digital money, currency with no paper, no press, no printer at all. If they succeed, the hidden industry we've been exploring doesn't just shrink, it disappears. Next time on Hard Currency, the war on cash. Who's really pushing it, what they're building to replace your banknotes, and what they gain when your money becomes something they can watch. Subscribe, you'll want to see where this goes.